Well, I've always enjoyed being involved in the neighborhoods and cities where I've lived, and have been looking forward to continuing this in my retirement. Um, One of the reasons we chose Fort to retire is that Fort's size and scale really mean it's possible to make a difference in helping to maintain what's working and to prepare wisely for the future. So it was an intentional choice. And being recently retired, I can devote the time and energy that's needed. I'd have to look back on my career. I've had two careers. The first was software design. The second career was in transportation planning, design, and traffic safety. And that took me all over state of California, to assist cities and towns and tribal areas of all shapes and sizes, including some that were just about the same scale as Fort. I got to understand their traffic and land use challenges and share ideas that I'd seen elsewhere. That was a real benefit. Once you've seen a number of cities with a diversity of needs, then you can help other cities say, I saw this and it might work over here, and help to create viable solutions. That, I think, is the key thing that prepared me to serve on the Plan Commission, where I've been on for just about a year now. And it also gives me insights into how the city approaches development and standards and regulations, and starting to understand more about the financing of all that. My connection in Fort Atkinson, I could say short answer is my wife, but I was raised in Maryland and Western Pennsylvania, and the town in Western Pennsylvania was very much similar to Fort. It was Irwin, east of Pittsburgh. My wife grew up right here in Fort. Her great-grandparents immigrated here, lived in Cold Spring and Jefferson, and her father worked at GM Janesville plant his whole life. Her siblings now live up north, so we've been coming to Wisconsin for summers for quite a long time, and I kind of grew to love the state. It reminded me of places I grew up, so just the environment for sure. She and I each spent our working lives in a sprawling metropolis. You know, the Bay Area is like, I don't know, 6 million people, with lots of traffic. And we wanted to retire to a place where we grew up, with neighborhoods of traditional houses, big trees, and in a city big enough to have plenty of things to enjoy, but small enough to make a difference. And we have been able to make connections here, surprisingly, I would say, more easily than where we lived in San Francisco. We've each become involved. In addition to serving on the Plan Commission, I have taught English as a volunteer with the Jefferson County Literacy Council, which I discovered when I went to a gathering that was at the Dwight Foster Library. So that was sort of one thing led to another. And I've also helped Habitat for Humanity on 2 of their construction days on the duplex that they're finishing up near the hospital. My wife is active with the Fort Atkinson Arts Council and just taught her first ceramics class at the Art Hub on the main drag in Cambridge last night. So we're plugged in. A city council or a village council in a smaller place is the legislative and policy-making body of a small municipality. It's analogous to the state assembly, sort of, although it's not a partisan position to be on the city council. So the analogous position to the city manager would be kind of sort of the governor, with the departments under the governor, but this is much smaller scale. So the council makes ordinances and modify codes like the zoning code, and works on the comprehensive plan in concert with the Plan Commission. The other thing is it's a representative body. It's supposed to you're supposed to represent the interests of residents and businesses both, and be their voice in meetings, and basically make it possible for people to participate without having to show up at every single meeting themselves. So the council also has visibility into the city staff's administration of all the services, the municipal services and programs that the city provides to residents and businesses. So by working with staff to discuss and adopt an annual budget and a multi-year capital improvement program for the big stuff, the council helps to determine which services are provided and how to pay for them. That's a big part of its responsibility. And another key council role is to make decisions on land use and community development with input from staff and also the Plan Commission, again informed by the city's multi-year comprehensive plan and the zoning ordinance, which is the nitty-gritty rules about what can be built somewhere or what might be able to be built somewhere. So that's a large part of what the city council does. Well, I think I hear a lot that if I had a magic wand, what people would like me to do is fix Riverside Drive. And I would like to do that because it's our western gateway, in addition to Madison Avenue. But I've looked into it and I found that there's actually a project with the Wisconsin DOT, Department of Transportation, for later in the decade. It's still a few years out. The city tends to be concerned with more than just the pavement surface. They've got utilities that run under there. They've got the waterfront. They've got some kind of a sort of place to walk along the water there, although it really hasn't been developed. The DOT, the state highway agency, they're primarily interested in the quality of the road. So there's some collaboration that needs to happen there so that the project serves the needs both of the city and the state. But currently it's in the works, just not as soon as we'd like. However, since I can't wave a magic wand, I'd have to say that my one thing would be to see all of downtown storefronts alive and vibrant with thriving businesses and eateries that everybody, residents and visitors, could enjoy. That definitely will be a focus and one of my interests on the council. I have read the city's budget, the 2025 budget, 2025 and 6 budget, and the capital improvement program in detail, including the chapters that cover each department's budget. The city manager just sent around a one-pager to all residents describing the budget at a very high level with one pie chart. It's actually a pretty long document and has separate chapters for like public works and parks and police and fire. So if you want to dig into it and really understand what the city is doing with its money and also how that money comes in, the budget has plenty of detail for that. I see how the budget supports the service levels that the city feels that it can sustainably provide and how it compensates staff so we can retain good people and not lose them because we're not keeping up with other cities. I also see how the city's staying aware of trends like economic trends and demographic trends like the composition of families and family sizes, kind of looking ahead to make sure that they can continue to deliver as things change over time. I do plan to meet in addition with the department heads to familiarize myself more with each of their chapters of the budget, with the finance director, who's has a top level responsibility for the budget, and to better understand the city's perspectives from the person that makes it happen. Well, one of the top people that make it happen. One of the things I learned while coming up to speed was the city has funded and conducted a staff compensation study. They found that they weren't aligned as well as they could be with what other cities, comparable cities, pay salary and hourly staff. And they wanted to rectify that so that, again, they can retain and attract good staff. they're now implementing those recommendations to better align our pay rates with comparable cities. That's a good thing. So I support that effort. Fortunately, it's well underway. As a council member, I would want to periodically sit down with department heads to hear how their year is going, any issues and opportunities they see during the rollout of this year's budget, and how they empower their staff and stay aware of staff concerns. Because it's one thing to talk with a department head, but I won't have as much visibility as a council member into the rank and file, the people that drive the trucks, people that respond to the police and fire calls. So I'd like to hear from the department heads how they work it. I consider myself a creative, collaborative, problem-solving personality, and I'm willing to listen to all perspectives. Number one. I mentioned I have a whole second career of experience with planning, actually with participating on advisory committees. In addition to being a professional planner, designer, safety specialist, in parallel with that, I volunteered for technical committee assignments. What's a technical committee? Well, traffic engineers, for example, have a handbook at the national level, and each state has a version of that handbook that says, well, when can you use a stop sign? How's a traffic signal supposed to work? How's that left turn arrow supposed to be, so that things are uniform across the state and across the country to the extent possible. So there's a committee of technical professionals that meet twice a year at the national level that discuss that sort of thing. I happen to be on the bicycle technical committee, which actually was also involved with pedestrian stuff. I also served on city and county citizens and technical advisory committees. So this whole volunteer track in parallel with that. So that's the technical side of things. And then just being in for it and actually experiencing it firsthand and getting to know all the people that make things happen here. We chose well, and I'm excited to continue making Fort work in a more formal way. To come back to downtown, I think that's a key desire of mine to help the chamber, to help the staff, to help anyone that is interested in making a difference, help our downtown become more of a thriving place with fewer vacant storefronts, more things to do, attractions for our residents and also for visitors. So downtown vitality definitely is a theme. I'd like to use my technical background to help ensure that the upcoming transformations of Janesville Avenue, contract was let for restriping design, actually for the design of the restriping, which precedes the construction of the restriping. And South Main Street, South Main Street right now, a project that has been on the books is being implemented. It's a side path on the east side so that people can get to and from the schools north of Rockwell and to downtown without having to walk or ride a bike in the street if they choose not to. That's a good thing. So when opportunities like that come up, some of that overlaps my previous professional experience, and I can contribute as someone who knows technicalities on that. I'd also like to see our Southside Business Park, the Clement Business Park at the south end of Janesville Avenue, a more thriving place. And there's also the industrial light manufacturing areas on the northeast end, north of Sherman Avenue, up Jefferson. There are some parcels that need to be remediated because of the former industrial uses, but there's great potential for two fair-sized parcels to become something that's a real asset to the city, whether it's additional businesses or residential, perhaps mixed use. It's exciting. It's going to take some work, but just sort of keeping an eye on that and helping to shape the future of that area, so it becomes another thriving part of the city. So downtown projects, street projects, and Clement Business Park. Would be great there too is to extend the Glacial River Trail up the old rail line. So there are things that are in the works in Fort, and I'd like to be able to help shape those things. I've enjoyed my time on the Plan Commission, and just looking forward to keeping in touch with everything that's going on in the city and the conduct of the city, and to get to know staff better and be the best kind of advisor and representative for the issues and concerns of businesses as well as residents.